Off on the horizon, deep buried in those hills, is the stomping grounds of Earl Hamner Jr., the creator of one of the most popular TV shows of all time in the 1970s. There wasn't very many people who did not tune in to watch the Waltons. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I don't know if I'm pointing at the right spot. It's somewhere over there. I got a little bit of a ways, but it's somewhere in that area. Welcome everyone, Adam TheDailyWoo here. The episodes were not filmed here in the hills of Virginia, however. That was out in Hollywood. A little movie magic, if you will, on the back lot in the sound stages in Burbank at Warner Brothers Studio. But the inspiration, the nooks and crannies, the peppering in of tidbits from this region can all be found up there on that cliff. I don't know if it's a cliff. It's up there, up the road just a bit. I want to dive in and see what I can find. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. I need more smarts in my life. It's the TheDailyWoo. Set in the time frame of the 30s and 40s, the story followed John Boy, who was the oldest of 7 kids, his parents, grandparents, and the other cast of characters in town. Fun fact, Richard Thomas did not narrate the show, but it was actually the writer and originator that did the actual voice of John Boy. As much as I enjoy the show, and while it is one of the most iconic classic TV shows ever, what makes this visit extra specially cool is that it is one of my mom's favorites as well. Growing up, I remember watching a lot of the episodes with her, and then later in life, the reruns. So this makes it a little bit more heartfelt going here. Up to Walton's. I'm actually going to Walton's Mountain. Now I can't be for certain, Big the Foot, because I have lost cell phone signal. But my senses are telling me that this might possibly be the right area. Very similar type of houses. I'm thinking we're in the right direction. Well, it's official. My RV has now, there's sticks here, there's sticks. Large, oh, there's a hole there, man. I was trying to say, my RV is now parked on sacred pop culture, television, history, soil. I've arrived. I have a whorehound in my cheek too. These things, I should have probably taken it out before I started talking. My apologies. There's the post office. Tiny, tiny little community. It's incredible that the birds are chirping almost as if they planned it that way, almost like a producer or director said, okay, he's here, birds, start chirping. Behind me is the location of the general store that was used as the inspiration from the show. The old one burned down. They have rebuilt one in its place. Right next door, in real life, just like in the episodes, right in front of the actual home. Shunk-a-gunk-a-gunk-gunk-gunk-gunk. That's it. The Walton's house. It's quite the feeling to be standing here. This is where he grew up. It looks eerily similar to its recreated counterpart in California. Those windows up there. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Ring a bell? If you've seen the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He passed away a couple of years ago, but that's him standing in front of his home, and there he is with his pen in hand doing some writing from up in the window. It's true, very true. I have stepped into nostalgia overload at the moment. Holding in my hands now is the key. I was given the key to the front door. Oh, I'm going in. Oh my goodness. No freaking way. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. I am in The actual kitchen. What is happening right now? If it seems like I'm geeking out a little bit, if it appears that way to you guys, it's because in all reality, I totally am geeking out big time. This is where he and his family lived. All his brothers and sisters, mom, dad, the whole crew. I can't believe I'm walking around in here completely alone. The life and times of that family, the trials and tribulations, were all written, penned and thought and originated and created in his mind, looking out this window, in this spot. Let that sink in for a second. If you have ever watched it, read the books, seen the movies, if it is a part of your life, this is where it started. Right here. Right in this room. The good old days. The good old days. The ideas, they're flowing. I can picture it. I can see it, totally. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think this was his real family. The real life Waltons. Well, the inspiration for the Waltons in real life. There's a few old books in here. Oh, there we go. There's another one that he authored. And I've never even seen this series. That's cool. Whoa. Little paper cutouts. Aaron, Ben, Elizabeth, Mary Ellen, Jason, John Boy, Jim Bob. You can put clothes on them. This is quite the experience. Just letting it settle in. I really like this. I really do. I never thought the day would come that I would get to walk around, wander around inside that house. That was amazing. In the show, John Boy's writings were done in a shed. It was the inspiration that this store, well, the former store that burned down, served. So in the show, he walked down to the shed, but in reality, it's the store. No photographs allowed inside, but I'll buy a few things and show you. One of them being this postcard of the family's church. That's what it looked like then. This is what it looks like now. And the house on the Warner Brothers back lot, there were two of them. One of them burned down. I'm not sure if this is the first or the second one. They both look very similar. This is what the real one looks like. This is what the recreated one looks like. As well as an episode guide from 72 to 81. First season starting in 72, going all the way through the 9th season in 81. And then there was a few movies and TV specials leading all the way up to 1997. And the show was based on, I think it was a pilot or maybe a movie, Christmas with the Waltons. I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it's basically the Waltons around Christmas time. It was so popular that they created the show after it. Of course, the floor plan of the real house differed considerably from the interior floor plan on the sound stage, as well as the exteriors and facades on the back lot. And just up the hill a bit is this, the Mountain Museum. And they're open. Heck yeah. About a month ago was the 45th anniversary. I was watching some videos online, and at that event they planted this tree, and the entire cast, or at least the ones who decided to come out to it, were here in dedication of this newly planted tree. You can still see how it's freshly planted in the ground. This building used to be the Schuyler Elementary School. I thought it was pronounced Schuyler, but in fact it is Schuyler, just spelled a little differently. It appears Grandpa was a Pepsi man, and he enjoyed himself a Arby. I really liked the character that played, the guy that played Grandpa. He was great. And they have recreated sets and areas. Each of the classrooms is now dedicated to each character from the show itself. They have expressed the fact that his room really did not have air conditioning, but as stated on that sign, it gets really hot in here, and they want to stay cool, so I can't blame them, because Virginia does get very humid at times. Some past TV guides, some vinyl records, a board game. Look at this down here. I never even knew that existed. Oh, that's neat too. A reserve sign back when they were filming it, and some dolls, some Barbie doll type items. All kind of stuff in here. Before it burned down, that's what the store looked like. Sneed's Store, the basis for Ike Godsey's general merchandise store. In fact, they've recreated that inside this room as well. As I recall, his wife never was really in a very good mood. If this was available for sale, I think I would probably buy it, but I think it's just for display purposes only. Let's step inside the living room now. Oh yeah. It feels like I'm in the show itself. I keep expecting one of them to walk through that door. And into another room stands the kitchen. Lots and lots of scenes utilized this type of area. In fact, they have one of the crab dollies that was used to film 182 episodes. That's cool. A little history from California dragged all the way out here in the hills of Virginia. Look closely, you can see a teeter-totter down there in the left corner in front of the home. And here's another paper house. They've recreated it in lots of different fashions, including this one, which is really detailed with the tree and the tire dangling there, and the barn, the shed next to the house. This is pretty incredible. These are some photos taken back in the day of, that's the barn revealed. That's what the interiors really look like to the house before the fire. I'm not sure what year this is, but there it is right there on Warner Brothers backlot. And that's behind the house, the side you never see. The vibe of this place is really cool. The fact that they just take the heads of the characters and tape them on the wall like this. You can stand next to each one of the actors' faces, see how you measure up height-wise. This is how tall in real life they really were. The tallest being Grandpa. I'm 6'3", so he was probably 6'4" or so, but he towered over everyone else. Judging by those framed photos over there on the end table, I think this is the residence of the Baldwin sisters. They're up to no good. They're back at their moonshining recipe ways. A few years ago when I was going to Disneyland pretty often, I mentioned, and it was under a little bit of scrutiny if it was true or false, but John Walmsley, who played Jason Walton, the second oldest son, always played the guitar on the show. I said I thought it was rumored that he was part of the pirate band at Disneyland. I could never really find hardcore confirmation. I talked to him about it. He never broke character. He never broke the pirate character. But I think I have confirmed. Check this out. Look at this. John Walmsley with the Bootstrappers, 2012, right there. Oh, I was right. I was right. The gentleman at the general store told me to drive down this road a ways. He said there's a dam up here. Oh yeah, right over here to the right. Check this out. A little waterfall area. He was telling me that Earl, his ashes, or at least some of his ashes when he passed away last year, or maybe 2 years ago, were scattered right there in the waterway. Some of them there and some of them in the private family cemetery, which is off limits to the public. There are two church buildings in town The most aesthetically incredible looking one is this one, overgrown with ivy. But the one down here on the bottom of the hill, if we look at its television counterpart, you will be interested to know that John Ritter, prior to Three's Company, was the minister on the television program based on this church. I love John Ritter, so I had to mention that. At this point, I'm kind of just driving around randomly. I don't have cell phone service. Trying to find another spot. I don't know if I'm going the right way. Crossing my fingers and just heading straight down this road. Since I was slightly lost, I pulled over and asked two guys who were working on their truck in their yard if they knew where this structure, where this building stood. Their answer, and I am paraphrasing, extremely paraphrasing, was, "What are you doing here?" Nevertheless, I have found the tracks at Rockfish that John Boy's narration talked about on many, many occasions. This is the post office, opened in 1914, closed in 74. The last piece of Walton's history. There's even a book right up there on the ledge. I found it. This is a toughie. I found it. I don't know how, but I found it. The door's locked, but you can peek in the window. You can see the desk and the old iron kettle pot there on the stove. The photo on this postcard, I think, was taken in 1985. Pretty much still looks the same today. I'm glad it's still standing. I was kind of worried that it had been removed. And on the door itself is a mail slot. I wonder if he came up here and tossed any letters in there. He probably did. It's pretty neat to think about. I really enjoyed this. Not only did it bring back a heck of a lot of memories, but I learned a lot of new things today and saw things I had never seen before. I think the best way to end this vlog is with some majestic drone shots of the real life Walton's Mountain. Da-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Vlog over.